What's going on, guys? It is the NPCs weekly news roundup for the week of April 30th, 2021. Tonight, Kyle and I will be talking about the update to Super Mario Party. Finally, this game is getting an update. We'll also be talking about the new information about Halo Infinite and support for PC from 343 Industries. And of course, we'll be talking about the little bit of chaos there from Bobby Kotick and supposedly how his cutting of pay is supposed to be helping out everybody at Activision. But we'll see how that goes. Again, guys, it is April 30th, 2021. We're going to roll that intro and kick things off here in just a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another NPCs Weekly News Roundup for the week of November 20th, 2020. It is Friday. It is, where's my date? It's September 18th, 2020 here to our first story, and this is actually breaking news for all of us right now here, too. Figured this is kind of a big one to cover, of course, with who it is. Joined via Discord by Kyle because we're in the midst of a pandemic still, and, of course, everything is all kinds of crazy. So this thing is a chocker. I mean...
yeah, it's a beast.
It's huge. Doing that we had the Resident Evil stuff, that they were successful with Castlevania. Welcome to another NPC's weekly news roundup. And it's the news time. I am joined, of course, by Kyle via Discord. Kyle, hello.
What's up?
Man. All right. And of course, as I take my time here to hit everything, again, I need a freaking Stream Deck, Kyle, because I just can't. It's hard jumping between trying to control stuff on this screen here and trying to jump over here to OBS to make sure everything's right. But hey, it's all right. It's whatever. It's all good. But anyway, yeah, everybody, welcome to another NPC's news roundup. Kyle, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Dude, it has been a busy week for us, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, of course. For everybody who hadn't actually seen the post this morning, of course, the big thing now is that Kyle and I are now working with a website known as Open Critic to work on. So we create, edit, and produce their weekly recap podcast. So if you don't get tired of hearing about the news from us on Fridays, at least in Friday evenings, you can hear it Friday mornings as well, too. So be sure to go and subscribe to that. We'll go ahead and provide a link out at the end of the stream as well, though, too, so that way everybody can find it. But yeah, a lot of the focus on there, of course, is you're not going to get a lot of the commentary like you do here from Kyle and I. It definitely is more of a scripted and formatted news podcast itself, but it's definitely a good listen. I think we did a pretty good job on it for our first one for them. So by all means, go and help us out, help them out. Go and check that out at opencritic.com and make sure to subscribe to that. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say there, Kyle. That's really what's eaten up most of our week, hasn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Haven't
I lost
had
a bit of hair.
Chance to play a lot of games. I mean, it's been news all week.
It really has, man. We're getting to do what we have been talking about doing for a while, I guess. Just man, a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to work towards, but
oh yeah.
Holy hell. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off the news for this week just right with some news from The Verge talking about Mario. So, this story, Nintendo gives Super Mario Party a much needed online upgrade only 3 years later. It took nearly 3 years, but Nintendo has finally given you a compelling reason to load up Super Mario Party on your Switch again. The new update significantly adds to the online component, which has been woefully lacking since launch. Thanks to the latest update, Super Mario Party now allows you to play Mario Party, a board game mode where up to 4 players take turns competing against each other, racing across the game board. It also added Partner Party, which is similar to Mario Party but pits 2 teams of 2 against each other. This is the first time board games support online play. Additionally, 70 out of the 80 minigames available in the game can now be played online. Before the update, Super Mario Party only allowed you to play 10 minigames online. According to the patch notes, there are 2 ways to play online, both of which require an active subscription to Nintendo Switch Online. Friend Match, which allows you to play with friends, or Private Game, which allows you to play with anyone using passwords. So, it's kind of neat to actually see that they did finally release an update. I think, though, Kyle, I mean, Super Mario Party's been pretty lacking anyway since it dropped. It just didn't have a lot of the flair of the originals. So
yeah, well, and I feel like the last few haven't had the flair of the originals, in all honesty. Ever since they went to the format where everyone kind of traveled across the board together, and I don't know, it just didn't feel as competitive as some of like the Nintendo 64 versions or even the GameCube ones.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, I think where a lot of the creativity kind of phased out was after what was it, Mario Party 6 or Mario Party 7 on the Wii.
The one where they added the mic, that's where it started going downhill for me.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was
Yeah.
okay. I can't remember which version that was exactly, but yeah, that's where I think so because yeah, a lot of that creativity kind of just like left. The levels for Super Mario Party are
Hmm.
super flat. Um, and the mini games aren't bad, but everything is super flat, and it just seems like it looks too much like just a regular like game board than it does the way the old Mario parties used to, where things were more interactive. You had more going on in the background. I don't know why they couldn't do that on the Switch. The Switch has way more power than the other consoles, so I wonder what made them divest away from doing that in the first place. Then,
Right. But
right?
I mean, at least we're getting it now. It's just, is it too little, too late with a game that? But I guess if you check the sales charts, it does still sell off and on. It'll be in the top 10. And it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, Mario games usually are, and especially think Mario games,
Yeah.
Switch, it's all party stuff anyway. It's something that you're going to be playing with friends. So it's one of those that's
Hmm.
usually going to sell pretty well. I just do wish that there was more in the update. I think it's neat though that online is expanding more. At the same time though that more mini games are going to be available to play. But at the same time though, because we're now in this weird phase of things with multiplayer and active subscriptions to play multiplayer games too, especially with
Hmm.
the change that Microsoft just made on the Xbox front to make free to play games now able to be played without having an Xbox Live Gold subscription. It's it's interesting though that Nintendo is still kind of going this way. Maybe because they just haven't figured out what they were, what they're still doing with online yet in the first place.
Yeah, this is true. The one thing I will say, it'd be nice to see them update the online support, especially since the blue what it was the Bluetooth just got updated in the Switch. So
Okay.
I'd like to see some party chat. I think that'd be really nice in this game specifically, but I mean in other games as well. I mean, it lacks it in shooters. You have to use the app in order to do party chat. I mean, even Animal Crossing, if you go to visit someone else's village, you have to have the app on your phone and you have to connect to the app, and it's just more of a pain than anything else.
Yeah, agreed. It's definitely more frustrating. It really feels like, Switch has had the leg up on like Stadia, for example. And even Stadia couldn't figure it out
Hmm.
then either, but it just seems like Nintendo's holding back. And you think for something like Super Mario Party and Animal Crossing, I'd say really let's focus on those two games just being big Nintendo properties anyway.
Hmm.
You would think that there would be a lot more emphasis to include voice chat, group chat through the Switch itself without relying on a phone to do it.
Right.
Um, but I wonder if it could be security related though too. I know we could dig more into this, but there's got to be
I'm
some
sure it
other
is.
reasons for it though that they aren't doing it that way. But I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, but yeah, if you've got Super Mario Party and you are one who wants to play with friends online, by all means, go pick up the update. Of course, it has dropped already. So get that loaded on your Switch, then let us know how it turns out for you. In the meantime, we're going to carry on here to our next story, and Kyle's going to talk to us about this one from Polygon about Halo Infinite and its crossplay support with PC and Xbox.
Halo Infinite's multiplayer component will support cross platform play and progression when it launches later this year, Microsoft announced Thursday. It will be the first entry in the Halo franchise main first person shooter series to launch on Windows PC on the same day it does on console. The news was part of an overall update on the Microsoft's effort with PC gaming. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Gaming Studios and multiplayer customization in progress in Halo Infinite, will follow players across PC, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free to play. Microsoft confirmed last summer. The franchise joins Call of Duty, Fortnite, and other heavyweight first person shooters in offering free modes with unlockable progression. The support aligns with last year's efforts to bring the PC version of Halo, the Master Chief Collection, to a full parity with the Xbox One and Xbox Series X counterparts. That included cross platform multiplayer support for the first time ever, which arrived in November alongside the anthology's Xbox Series X launch. We've been working closely with the PC community to ensure Halo Infinite offers a premier PC experience, Booty said, including highly desired features such as support for ultra-wide and support for ultra-wide screens, triple keybinds, wide variety of advanced graphic options, and more. We want to make sure that Halo is serving the PC community. Booty added that Xbox Cloud Gaming and feature of Xbox Gaming Pass or Xbox Gaming Pass Ultimate, is a big part of the Microsoft's PC support, as it helps subscribers play over 100 console games on a wide range of computers, from lower spec entry level machines to older devices otherwise couldn't handle games that require more power. Originally, Microsoft planned to launch Halo Infinite alongside the Xbox Series X and Series S November, but reaction to the preview slice of games campaign sent developer 343 Industries back to the drawing board to polish and improve the game.
So I'm actually very excited for this, that there's going to be native PC support already built in with this. And I mean, we already knew it was going to be coming to PC anyway. I mean, I think that's been a given with Microsoft's reputation in the last couple of years. But what I'm curious about, though, more than anything, is the advanced graphics options. Does that mean we're going to be seeing ray tracing in Halo? Are you thinking maybe DLSS support? Are we gonna? I mean, there's a litany of things here, of course, because you're talking also about you're talking about cloud gaming as well too. You're talking about support from PC through Series X and S all the way to the original Xbox One. I mean, there's a lot of things here for them to support, and there's a lot of things they've got to pick and choose to really work on. And nothing against PC gamers, being a PC gamer, but it's interesting that, and it's cool that they're at least putting a lot of effort into the PC side of it, though.
Right. The one that boggles me is they still have Xbox One on there.
That too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they really wanted the game to excel on the series units, then they have to ditch the Xbox One. Like,
I think so.
In theory, it's good. Maybe they should make it another mode that you can play certain maps with Xbox One players, but overall, I don't think that should be the system to be focusing on. They need to be focusing on PC and the series units.
I absolutely agree. I think one of the things that they could do to potentially help where the Xbox One could still play it is that multiplayer could be the core component that's actually on the Xbox One, but for the campaign where you really like push those visuals to their max, I would say that needs to be something where it's in the cloud cloud gaming, the cloud streaming side of things. So that way, when you boot up in the launcher itself, anyway, and you've got campaign, multiplayer, and what will probably be a battle royale of some type in there. We know it's coming. Come on, I mean, who isn't making one nowadays? But I would think that it's like, to offer that, I think it would need to offload to something else. So that way those visuals could be pumped through. So if your Xbox One had struggles at least trying to push out those graphics, then if you could get a good connection at 1080 frame or 1080p 60 frames per second using cloud streaming, why not? Why not do that to at least help with the visuals, and then keep multiplayer just on the console, and just kind of dial things back a bit. That I would really, I think that would be a big support. But otherwise, if everything's going to be packaged into one for the Xbox or for the original Xbox One, I don't know. I mean, we saw what happened with Cyberpunk.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. So I read this story though separately, I think on The Verge earlier today. Did you happen to see the screenshots of the ultra wide support though?
I think I did actually, because it was
Okay.
a very similar article.
Okay.
It's just it happened to be this is the one that I grabbed.
No, you're all good, dude. Let's see. I'm just trying to find the images here. Let's see. Okay, I've got them up here as an example. Let me go ahead and switch over to my Chrome capture again here. I'll drop you the link in Discord, Kyle. Uh, Boom. Okay, there's your link. And yeah, so if I go over here to Chrome and show you guys this article from The Verge,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so you can actually see how the ultra wide support here looks, at least from these screenshots in game, where you can see that you're talking about, your standard 16 by 9 up here at the top. You're talking about, I think, probably what is, I don't want to say that's not 16 by 10. I think that's 21 by 9 here. I can't remember what that resolution is, or 32 by 9 is the very bottom one here. So you're talking like the example they give in the Verge article is like the Samsung Odyssey G9, which is massive.
Yeah.
But what they did though is that they worked on it, and they talked about it a bit further though, especially with the heads-up display though too, which this other picture actually displays rather well. Sorry, of course, for the size here, folks. It's just the way things scale up on my computer. But you can see though that your HUD is still visible. It's just things, of course, are stretched out, or not stretched out, but moved more to the edges like they would be in a Halo game anyway, like with your radar showing up, your ammo, grenade count, and of course the weapons you have, and then your shield / health bar at the very top. That's just spaced out more, which I gotta say, was not a problem. I think that gives a great level of immersion that really makes you want to buy one of those ultra wide monitors.
Oh yeah, because especially with the Samsung Odyssey, I can say when I was shopping for computer monitors and I looked at, actually it was an LG that was an ultra wide curved that
Mm-hmm.
sitting in front of it, like when you're right on and you're in the sweet spot. Granted, it did have good viewing angles, so you could see it from the side. But if you were dead on, the immersion, like that would put that stuff right in your periphery. So I would see that as almost perfect for that type of game.
Right. I agree though too, especially with how visually stunning this thing has been so far from the
Hmm.
screenshots and such, especially after what had been shown off last year. I actually really have high hopes for this. I'm a Halo fan anyway, this. And so I'm really excited to see what this looks like. But I think looking at this is what really convinces me that I'm going to play it on Series X. But goddamn, do I want an ultra wide to be able to play this on, with that type of setup though too. I think it'd look just fucking beautiful.
You still got to picture that brute.
Every so often shows up in my nightmares once in a while.
No, okay. I was
Once
gonna
in a
say
while.
you could throw that. You could always throw that up next to some of the new images. I know it's a more of a character, but I mean, even next to this chief, that's like night and day.
It is. It really is. I agree with you there for sure. So The Verge actually listed a couple other details that were from the blog there. So if you guys want to go look at it, I think it's up on Halo Waypoint. But for the PC side of things, they also talk about saying LAN play, which this is really cool. Just wait for this here. So hosting a local multiplayer server on PC that you can join from both PC and Xbox. So that means that if you had a LAN party and someone had an Xbox and someone else had a PC, you could probably put 4 people on the Xbox and have a couple people on their
Mm.
PCs and all play together. That is like beautiful. That's awesome. That's a
Now
great
that
thing to
also
see.
brings the question though.
Hmm.
Um,
There's more stuff here, but let's talk about this.
I wonder if they could do it with cloud as well. Like if you were on the same Wi-Fi network and in the cloud.
Well, so you're talking like let's say I was to host a Minecraft server here at home, or not Minecraft server, Halo. They all own the same thing. Halo server here at home on my server. You're talking about the potential of having that like opened up so that way I could have just doing the private server for whoever to join
Via
in and play.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's very possible. I could see
I
that
mean,
definitely still being a thing.
it's but I mean, there's the possibility of it being there eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, they are trying to boast this whole thing of, play anywhere, play, anyone can play type thing, no matter how
Hmm.
they, come at it.
Yeah.
So,
Ex- oh, exactly. Um, Rest on the list, though, of course, crossplay, which includes restricting ranked matches to input type rather than console versus PC with server side anti cheat. So that means no anti cheat on your computer or anything on your Xbox. It's all going to be server related. But the cool part, though, is that instead of it being console versus PC, you can actually have it where you're playing with a controller on your PC. You can play against controller people on Xbox. If folks on Xbox are playing with keyboard mouse, you can play keyboard mouse there and line up with them. So that's cool. Adjustable field of view up to 120 degrees on both PC and console. That's neat to see on the console front because we usually don't get that. Mouse and keyboard support on both of them, which is just, yeah, it's normal. Triple keyboard mouse bindings. Visual quality settings up to ultra presets on PC with individual settings for texture quality, depth of field, anti-aliasing, and or etc. Again, I think there's probably stuff about ray tracing that'll be coming up here soon too. High refresh rate options, 21 by 9, 32 by 9, and beyond ultra wide monitor support, minimum and maximum frame rate settings on PC, fixed dynamic resolution scaling options on PC, optional borderless full screen on PC. Oh, excuse me. FPS and ping overlay on PC, and of course, out of game multiplayer invites lets you join games through Xbox Live, Discord, and Steam. I mean,
that's
this is
actually kind of
awesome.
handy.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, yeah, to be able
There's
to
so
bring people
frequently
together,
you go to
yeah.
join a friend, especially if they're on a different platform. Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, for instance, you
Hmm.
know, oh, it can be a pain to be connected to people because the Ubisoft Connect doesn't necessarily work the greatest sometimes. But
Agreed. I mean, even look at us with just trying to get Titanfall 2 on PC just to connect up properly.
yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think that list is cool. I don't like, I think that 343 has enough support behind it, especially with Microsoft anyway, that they should be able to deliver on that. It
hmm
doesn't seem as like overly ambitious as what CD Projekt Red was trying to do with Cyberpunk 2077. So I have very high hopes for this one, but as with anything, it's just cautiously optimistic on what this could be. My
right,
hope is that it's here's everything we told you we were gonna do. And if like one or two things held back, it's understood. If like the entire list comes back and says we had to hold back like 70% of these because we weren't ready to deliver them, you're gonna start frustrating the hell out of me.
right.
Yeah. So I don't know where you're gonna sit on that one either, Kyle. But it's like just don't tease me like that, please. Just don't
Yeah,
dangle that
I'm
carrot in
kind of
front of me.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Microsoft stuff, let's talk about them here in our next story, and this is going to be an interesting one for you devs out there. From Polygon as well, Microsoft reducing its cut of PC sales to match Epic Games Store. Microsoft is changing its revenue split on the Microsoft Store to give developers a greater share of sales of Windows PC games, the company announced on Thursday. Starting August 1st, developers will receive 88% of the revenue for any games sold on Microsoft PC Storefront, up from the current 70%. The increase in revenue share is beneficial for developers, but it's also a play by Microsoft to entice game makers to its store. An 88% revenue share is what the Epic Game Store offers developers, and it's part of why fans see so many exclusives go to Epic on PC. With Microsoft matching the Epic Game Store, the move puts the most pressure on Valve's Steam, a platform on which Microsoft also publishes its PC games. Valve's revenue share is now significantly behind the times compared to Microsoft and Epic. Microsoft referred to its new policy as a no strings attached revenue share, which is good news for developers, but also a shot at Valve's revenue share plan. Valve starts by taking a 30% cut of game sales on Steam, the same percentage that Apple and Google take from their mobile app stores. Microsoft's own policy change affects only PC games that will maintain the existing 30% cut of digital Xbox games. After a game racks up $10 million in sales, Valve's cut drops to 25%. If a game hits the $50 million mark, the cut drops to 20%. In a recent survey of thousands of game industry professionals, 97% of developers said they feel that the 30-70 revenue split is unfair. Earlier this month, The Verge reported that Microsoft will improve its rather lackluster Windows Store later this year, making it more player-friendly. With all of these changes, alongside several recent additions to Xbox Game Pass for PC, Microsoft is making a serious pass at PC gaming. While Valve long had an iron grip on PC storefronts, we've seen some of that erode away with Epic Game Store giveaways and exclusives. Microsoft joined the fray for better developer revenue sharing, will continue to put pressure on the PC gaming titan, which at the very least should improve the lives of developers. Uh, Good news, I guess, for anybody that wants to publish there, right?
Yeah. Um, except there's one problem. I find
What's that?
that the people that buy games on PC on the Microsoft Game Store usually intend to play them on Xbox as well. The reason they buy those games on the Microsoft Game Store is because they're wanting to play them on Xbox, or it's because they're, you know, extremely tied into their console. Even I'm tied into my console, and I prefer Steam, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, this looks like what I'm seeing here in the gaming itself is just like I'm looking through the list here now. I just went to the Microsoft Store in the gaming section.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of it really ties back into like Game Pass is one example here. So like Sea of Thieves is listed and has included with Game Pass tag. But then a lot of the other games you see listed in here um, are like mobile games that they've moved over to PC or the. Do you remember back in the day? Or I mean, I think some of these are still sold where it had like you'd go buy a CD for like $10 that had like 100 games on it, and they were all
Oh yeah.
like mahjong and chess and what have you. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing here really fits some of that stuff too, if not just mobile games as well. Like Asphalt 9 Legends is on here. That's a phone game. Um,
Hmm.
let's see what else is there. Candy Crush is on here. This Cradle of Empires thing looks like it too. Uh, it's very interesting to see what they're like. I guess what they're going to try to do, but I I don't know. I really don't know on here. Like
It makes their storefront seem kind of confused.
it really does. Yeah, it seems more like if Microsoft was to still make Windows Phone, that this is the
Mm-hmm.
type of storefront that you would see in an evolved Windows store or a Windows Phone store that has it tied so you can download the apps and they push to your PC. You can download the apps for your phone. You can download the apps that push for Xbox
Yeah.
and such. That's really what it seems like this store is still a culmination of. And so to attract developers, I think you're gonna have to really like peel back the layers that are the store right now and say what here is making this not so enticing.
Right.
It's almost like sometimes those pop-up toy stores that you see during Christmas time in like the malls and shopping outlets and that you walk in through them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh cool, I can go get toys for the kids. And a lot of it is like you'll see one or two things that are name brand things or have like a licensed image on it for something. But then as you go through the rest, it's like this is gonna break the day after I give it to my kid.
Yeah.
That's how it feels looking at the storefront right now. That is literally the best example I can give. And if you don't believe me, go not just you, Kyle, but for everybody else watching,
Mm-hmm.
go into your Microsoft store on your computer, go into the gaming section and just scroll through the games. Besides all the different Xbox games that you can get now, like the stuff that's really like first party for Microsoft, go and just look at everything else that's there, and it's really gonna feel that way. So I just think that's what they need to clean up first before they really bring anybody in. Otherwise, I know like Steam has a lot of junk in it too, but they do a good
Mm-hmm.
job with their curation. Epic Game Store doesn't really have any junk because they're still new. GOG is still just fine as well. Origin is Origin, but they're really just stuff directly made by EA. Um, yeah, I can't really think of anything else there. I mean, even
I
Nintendo's
don't know.
storefront is fine.
The thing that really bugs me is just having to have so many launchers, and then also may need to connect to another launcher. Um,
God damn it, that's it. Yeah, there's that too.
yeah.
You're right. I forgot all about that. Dang it. Yeah.
I mean, even if you want to play like Plants vs Zombies from Xbox, or PC, I should say, the PC version, you have to have that EA in order to play it. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it's through Origin or you're doing the EA access, you have to be logged into an EA account in order to play it.
Yeah, and it was the same for not just EA stuff because I've seen that, but I think you had to do it with with Warzone for your Activision account, and then you also had to do it for Ubisoft as well. Like if you were playing like Rainbow Six Siege as an example.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
Ubisoft is a really bad one about it.
Jeez, man. I know we're not going to get
That's one of the
one.
ones that'll actually crash my game, and I'll have to sometimes. It's only well, I shouldn't say sometimes. It's only happened like twice, but I've actually had to restart my computer because if I forget to activate the Ubisoft Connect or whatever their new platform is now, um, it'll try and activate while the game's activating, and the game gets confused, and then the platform gets confused, and just it's done.
What a what a load of garbage. Yeah, and
Yeah.
to add, I mean, at least I mean, the Microsoft Store is already built into Windows anyway, so it's kind of whatever. But if I have to like, I can only imagine that if I bought a game for some reason through the store, would it have to launch
Hmm.
through the Xbox app then to actually play it? Would it have to be something like that too? I don't know, just too much junk in the trunk
Yeah.
to really make things work. And you're right, it's just adding another layer of things to be able to play games. So it's like, can Microsoft actually do better? Okay, you're enticing developers, but can they do better delivering the content than these other ones? If not, is it really worth it? Maybe not, but I don't know. We'll see if the results actually pan out for them, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of how things pan out, of course, we got this story here from IGN that Kyle is going to talk to us about. This one here is a surprise that it's a little sus, but I don't know. I didn't really
Little.
see it vent. I didn't see it vent or anything, but I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, I'm making too many things here. We'll just get to it. The story here is Among Us announced for PS5 and PS4 with exclusive Ratchet and Clank content. So, what's going on in Among Us there, Kyle?
Inner Sloths Among Us will finally arrive on PS5 and PS4 in 2021 with an exclusive Ratchet and Clank skin, hat, and pet. Announced during Sony's latest State of Play, PlayStation owners will soon be able to backstab their friends and become the ultimate imposter. Among Us on PS4 will have crossplay with other platforms and will even feature from other versions, including the brand new Airship. Among Us is currently available on PC, mobile devices, Nintendo Switch, and via Xbox Game Pass for PC. It'll also be released for Xbox Series S and X and Xbox One later this year, but it was already actually on Game Pass for Xbox One. So
Okay. So, well, cool there. I mean, I
just
mean,
kind
it's
of
kind.
a brief announcement, but
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know. The skin is really neat. I wish I could get that on my mobile version.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be exclusive on the PlayStation for a while, and then we'll see it work its way kind of like around, so you can play as, your oh God, what is it? Lombax, is what Ratchet
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
I think.
you can.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you can
that's what
run
it
around.
is.
Yeah, you can run around as your Lombax self there. Just about anything. I mean, that's fine. And then of course
Or
you got your
just
little.
even tote your clank around. You know.
If you could pick that up as a second thing, like if I could still be
Well,
running
I
around
mean,
wearing like the.
just keep it by your side at least. It's
Yeah,
neat.
if I can run around in the ninja mask and have Clank following me around, I'm fine. That'd be perfect for me.
Heck yeah. Heck
That'd be
yeah.
perfect for me. But it's not a surprise. I mean, when was last time you touched Among Us, though, Kyle? Like, honestly, when
Oh
was last
man.
time?
Honestly, it's been into January.
Yeah, it'd be about the same for me too. I
Yeah.
have it on my phone to boot up, and I've got it. I think no, because after I replaced the solid state drive on my computer, I didn't actually reinstall it yet. So, no, I don't have it on
I
computer anymore.
actually purchased it on my phone because it was only, what, a couple bucks or something. And I bought some of that hat packs or whatever. I had
Oh, is
Google
there an
Play.
ad-free version for it?
Yeah, there is an ad-free version.
I'm gonna just take a look here. I mean, I'm not saying you're
Yeah.
wrong. I'm just curious. In-app
At least that's
purchases.
what they advertised it as.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably have to launch to actually see what they are. Like, the Google Play Store doesn't really give you a list of what the actual in-app purchases are, unless the dev puts in there, oh
Right.
my god, why am I yawning? Yeah, it's because I'm tired. That's what happens. That's what happens after just doing the news for a solid week now and everything else. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while since I've played it though too. It hasn't tickled my fancy to actually hop in there and play it, but it's
Yeah.
it's still fun. I still like. I mean, if the airship is still available, it's something I really want to try. Um, but okay, well, if you're a fan of Among Us and you've been wanting to play it on your PlayStation, then it's coming your way here very soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Kind of shocking it wasn't there already, but considering it is a game from 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is, huh? Yeah, and it
But
got its popularity at the end of last year. So
right.
I gotcha. All right. Well, in hardware news, let's talk about what NVIDIA has tried to redo here. This is kind of part of our title stories for tonight, of course. From The Verge, NVIDIA has reinstated its RTX 3060 Ethereum cryptocurrency mining limit. NVIDIA is trying again to limit the use of its RTX 3060 graphics cards for mining Ethereum with a new update, once again adding a hash limiter to the GPU via videocards.com. If that sounds familiar to you, that's because it's not the first time that NVIDIA has tried to nerf mining performance on the RTX 3060. The company first rolled out new drivers that were intended to limit the hash rate of Ethereum mining by around 50% in February. We designed the GeForce GPU for gamers, and gamers are clamoring for more. Says Matt Woobling, head of global GeForce marketing at NVIDIA, in a blog post announcing the change. The company also announced a new product, the NVIDIA CMP cryptocurrency mining processor, a dedicated GPU meant specifically for cryptocurrency mining. However, the update was short-lived, with NVIDIA managing to accidentally unlock its own limit in a beta driver released in March, undoing its previous work. NVIDIA would go on to confirm that the new driver was a mistake, but it was already too late. The updated driver was out in the wild, and RTX 3060 owners were able to download it and avoid the new restrictions. The new GeForce 466.27 driver, though, brings back the original limit and notes that it'll be required for all future RTX 3060 cards starting in May. Looking to add hash rate limits to other cards, too. A separate videocards.com report notes that the company is working on an updated version of LHR, or light hash rate GPUs, across the other RTX 30 series cards, including the RTX 3060 Ti, 3070, and 3080 models, in order to help discourage cryptocurrency miners from snapping up the limited stock before gaming-focused customers can. Only the top-of-the-line RTX 3090 may be exempt, as the $1,500 price tag already makes it of limited value for mining tasks. Well, I mean, okay. The fact that it's going to become a requirement from May going forward doesn't really surprise me. I've never tried to back rev drivers before for a GPU, so I wonder if it's going to be even possible. Like if you could make it so you don't have to update, that's cool. But if you do update, accidentally, can you roll back well enough, or does it burn something into the card that doesn't allow you to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so because of the type of update it is. I mean, you're going into the hard code when you update a driver.
Right, but the question
So
is though, I mean, the driver lives on the computer. But the question though is
right.
that would the driver potentially, to at least prevent any sort of reverting, would it potentially burn something into the GPU? I don't know exactly how this works. I need to read up more on this anyway, but could it potentially burn something into the GPU so that way, through its own BIOS, nothing could potentially allow for a reversion? Or like if you revert back to an older driver, the hash rate limiting is still there.
Or turn it, just on and off, and that's the only way that you'd be able to turn it on and off type thing.
Yeah, like you'd have to you'd have
Yeah,
to have a run a hacked BIOS or something like that, which in itself is dangerous because you could completely brick your card, and then now you've got an RTX
exactly.
3060 paperweight. Yeah.
See, I think that would be the risk in trying to roll back drivers.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll back Windows updates, of course, and you can always change out
But
drivers, but it depends on how they
on a
formatted this
video
driver
card,
too.
I don't know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah.
So I guess it's just something to
Hmm.
see if it does happen to do that. I don't own a 3060. I actually don't know anybody that owns a 3060. They're so rare. I mean, any GPU right now is rare. So it's gonna be interesting to find out exactly how it does underneath. So I guess I'll check out like Gamers Nexus is one of my favorite ones to watch for when it goes into like the deep dives of the actual hardware and such. So maybe they'll have an answer on the
Yeah.
3060 side of it. So
My big question is, are these crypto mining processors going to actually be cost effective for the crypto miners to actually want to buy them? And are they going to have the power that the regular video cards are going to provide, and be at a reasonable cost for them? They can just scalp each other for all I care, but
yeah, that's what I'm
just
trying to
stay away
figure
from my
out.
regular cards.
Yeah, so this article here from Tom's Hardware, this NVIDIA CMP 30HX mining GPU hits the market for $723, and so this was a month ago. One of the first ones has emerged at Microlist, a retailer in Dubai, for $723.84. The graphics card is part of NVIDIA's latest cryptocurrency mining processor lineup. Let's see. The clock speeds are identical to the GeForce GTX 1660 Super GP graphics card. Let's see. It didn't reveal the core count. It's expected to wield 1408 CUDA. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. 6 gigs of GDDR6 that clock in at 14 gigabits per second, 192-bit memory interface. Doesn't have any display outputs, 125 watts. Let's see. Only depends on a single 8-pin PCI power connector, and then has no video output. So it's going to be much thinner. Let's see. What are they talking about here? I'm just looking through that. Let's see. So that puts the cost of it somewhere around about maybe $699. Like just probably what our price is going to be for that. Which right
So
now,
that's actually
like,
not too bad.
like what's the RTX? Let's see. RTX 3060 MSRP. RTX 3060. Where are you? 3060 is on its own is $329. Yeah, that's where you're kind of getting into that interesting thing though, is that it's like it's locking it down so you don't mind because of how cheap it is, but it's a
But
trade-off then on being able to do it. It's like, do you risk being locked down,
but for
or
$300, and if you've got 20 of them, what's it matter?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, it depends, I
Yeah.
guess, on if your whole business is surrounding doing the mining anyway in the first place, or if you do it just casually. Like I did a little bit of Ethereum mining with my 5700 XT, and I stopped that. I did it just for the heck of it to see what happened. It's like, okay, cool. I know it works. I just not going to do it anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting on that. I think most of the mining stuff I've seen anyway is, I mean, I don't know anybody who's doing any like big mining rigs around here. Like I'm not really hearing of it much anyway.
Yeah, I personally don't either. I've seen them show up on Facebook, but I don't know if it was actually local.
Yeah, and that's
So,
what's. I just don't know where things are going to sell that, because you're right. It definitely seems like it is a little bit of an overpriced thing, but if it's fully unlocked and if you run enough of them anyway, there's that, and you should be able to be just fine. But this may not end up being the solution for it, especially if that's where the cost comes out to be. I mean, the cost could be more because that was a price out of Dubai, so it's possible that the card itself could be, I mean, if it's less than $400 to get a 3060 at MSRP, if it's $450 to that unlock, then I think that's probably a pretty good trade off. But I don't mind enough to understand the tech behind it, so
yeah.
I guess results will vary for each person. Of course, as results may vary anyway, and talking about cutting something here, let's talk about this story here. Kyle, you could tell us all about this one from IGN. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick takes a 50% pay cut, but it's not as big a cut as it sounds. What the hell is he doing?
After years of criticism for being one of the most overpaid CEOs in the United States, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is taking a pay cut, though it's not as generous a cut as it may initially seem. in an SEC filing yesterday spotted by GameIndustry.biz, the company has opted to renew Kodak's contract for a few more years. His current contract is set in 2016, was initially set to expire on December 31st of this year. But his role as CEO has been extended at least till March 31st of 2023. It can be extended further beyond that date if the board so chooses. The renewal document lavishes praise upon the CEO, citing significant increased shareholder returns and improved market value during Kotick's tenure. It does not mention the numerous rounds of layoffs the company has undergone under his leadership, including around 190 employees earlier this year and around 800 back in 2019. Despite the board's recognition of Kotick's performance, the renewal also includes a contract development adjustment, saying at the board reached out to investors and pay committee members to reevaluate the CEO's compensation package. As a result, Kotick's salary is being reduced by 50% beginning retroactively January 1st, 2021, bringing it from 1.75 million a year to a mere 875,000. Furthermore, his annual target bonus has also technically been reduced. He's still eligible for up to 200% of his salary or his base salary in a bonus per year, but with his salary reduced, that brings Kotick down from potentially earning 3.5 million in bonuses each year to only 1.75 million in bonuses each year. On top of his existing salary in total, that means Kotick still stands to make $2.6 million a year if he keeps meeting all objectives set by the board. Notably, his objective has also shifted a bit, effectively focusing more on meeting certain financial metrics and less on meeting other non-monetary related milestones. The paper is on paper, very likely in response to ongoing criticism over how much Kotick has paid. He recently appeared, not for the first time, on a list of the most overpaid CEOs in the United States at rank 16, with a report calculating that indicating stock options. Kotick received a total over $30 million in compensation in 2019, most of which stemmed from equality grants rather than his actual set salary. And Kotick is still eligible for more long-term equality incentives or equity incentives, awards in the future, basically meaning that Kotick gets awarded a whole lot of money thanks to stock options if the company continues to do well. The renewal filings stipulate that his max payout would be in line with the other companies deemed similar to Activision Blizzard at the time that happens, rather than, as it has been pointed out in the past, well above them. That doesn't even include the additional bonus of up to $200 million that Kotick could still be awarded in June with the approval of the board committee. When asked for comment on whether this bonus was impacted by the contract amendment, an Activision Blizzard spokesperson said, "The value and timing of the bonus are at the discretion of the compensation committee." So even with his salary slashed in half, Kotick is still set to make millions as Activision Blizzard CEO each year, alongside both a potentially massive upcoming bonus payout and the likely possibility of large payout in the future.
Eat the rich. Eat
Yeah,
the rich. I mean, Jesus Christ, with the amount of money that this guy is making, I swear. It's just like, I mean, who else is
it's
on this?
disgusting.
It is, like, especially with all the layoffs that are going on. So I'm just curious here to see who else is actually on this list. So at the top is CEO of Alphabet, which, parent company of Google, Sundar Pichai. Then going through, Jesus. Wow. Okay, so Lisa Sue actually with AMD actually kicks him out of the running, or at least at the at the top one there. Uh, wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah. For the amount of money that he makes, the amount of options that he gets, um, the amount of things he gets, it's oh my god, it's obscene. Um, like, where's the ratio here? If we can actually see this, like they actually have it in here. Um, they actually have the ratio of CEO to worker pay in here, and
Hmm.
according to this, Bobby Kotick makes 319 to 1 in this one. So that means
Holy
yeah,
crap.
that means for every dollar, I mean, I guess if that's the way it breaks down, right, is that for every dollar one of his employees makes, he makes 319.
That's insane.
Fuck him. No, send him to the fucking, you know,
Yeah.
gallows there, but
So,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, that's just insane.
Mhm. Yeah, like even like I mean there's a lot of companies I recognize on this anyway though too. But Jesus Christ, for him to rank at 16, it's just wow, okay. I don't even know what the date was on this actual
For
article. I
someone
think
in
it
the
was
video
put
game
together.
industry that's not maybe Gabe.
Yeah, because Gabe Newell actually made games. Bobby Kotick just I don't even
Yeah.
remember what he did beforehand.
I mean,
Did
Gabe
something.
Newell probably deserves to be overpaid at this point, if he were on the list, but I I don't know any other one in the game industry that should be on a list like that.
Yeah. There's nobody else in the game industry on there like that. I mean, Microsoft, of course, is on there. Google's on there, but it's not like there's nobody else in the gaming realm that's on that.
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean,
I,
yeah,
I I don't know, and maybe it's just because it's Activision Blizzard, and you know, it's the Call of Duty, it's the Diablo, the Overwatch. Maybe that's what it is. It's Titans, and he's supposed to be the acting head of the Titan.
yeah, that very well could
So,
be it because I mean, I don't know exactly which one the
and
largest
maybe
company is.
maybe
I think
with
it's
with
EA,
that
but
title, you have a little bit of power to just say, "Hey, I want this," and to
there's
to
that too.
to get it. So when the time comes that you have to take a pay cut of 50% of your salary, you're just like, cool, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Man, yep. Get the gallows. Tax the rich, eat the rich, do everything we need to do because man, getting people laid off, especially for the people laid off this last year during the pandemic, that worked over there at Activision Blizzard. That's just got to make your blood boil. So does for me, and I
Yeah.
don't even work for them. Anyway, speaking of course on chaos, I guess if you want to consider it chaos over on the in the world of Activision Blizzard here too, let's talk about our next story. Kyle, you ready for this one?
Yeah, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so from VG 24/7 Crash 4 dev, Toys for Bob is now working on Warzone. Toys for Bob, the studio behind Crash Bandicoot 4, Spyro Reignited, and many Skylanders games, has turned into a support team for Call of Duty Warzone. Toys for Bob's official Twitter account broke the news overnight. Toys for Bob is proud to support development for Season 3 of Call of Duty Warzone and look forward to more to come. God, it's read all weird. Perhaps more surprising than this sudden shift is that it's revealed that Activision has seemingly let go of a number of Toys for Bob developers recently, many of which are responsible for Crash 4 and the studio's recent work. Character designer and illustrator Nicholas Cole took to Twitter to reveal that several staff were either let go or decided to leave the studio recently. It's the end of an era, but I wish my former coworkers still with TFB all the best with what's ahead, Cole wrote. Cole later added that he's at least happy the studio didn't get completely shut down. Although everyone I interfaced with was working with and worked along was let go, I'm very glad it's not a totally shuttering. Um, Activision did not announce staff changes at Toys for Bob, but it appears whatever happened took place very early this year. Cole left the studio in January. According to reporter Liam Robertson, the studio was working on a multiplayer PvP Crash game. It's not clear whether this project will continue, but Activision's decision to move the team to Warzone is a strong indication that it won't. Broadly, this move effectively turns all of Activision's studios into Call of Duty developers. Vicarious Visions, the only other studio to remain, was recently absorbed into Blizzard to work on the Diablo 2 remake. Nevertheless, the big success of Warzone, over 100 million players in a year, was likely a big factor in Activision's decision, even if it homogenizes what was once a varied set of studios working on different projects.
This is a sad thing. Because I
Damn it.
really like the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Yeah.
They did the Crash Insane trilogy
Yeah,
or
and it
whatever
really,
it was.
well, it really gets
But
to me because, yeah, exactly. It's that I just can't believe it that they've got so
yeah,
many, like everybody working on it now.
don't get me wrong. The Skylanders, I mean, I got sucked into it, but
Yeah.
But I mean, Toys for Bob was a good company. I be willing to say that the people either getting let go or leaving the company, I feel like that probably had something to do with them knowing they were going to be acquired.
Probably. I wonder if that
Yeah.
could definitely have done with it too. I think you're on the right track with that one. But the fact that every studio within the Activision Blizzard family, or at least the Activision family, is now
Mhm.
supporting Warzone is just obscene.
That's
I mean,
nuts.
that's I think
Especially
like
for a game that's so broken at times.
that's like 9 to 12 different studios working on one game in some form or
Yeah.
another. And that includes your big 3. That includes like Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer doing the the rotation of developing the Call of Duty games. And now it's like what the hell? Now everybody's doing it. It's
Yeah.
just it's I don't think this is going to end well for them. Warzone is still very popular. I'm not going to argue with that. What I will argue with though is this just muddies everything up. I just don't think we're going to see a lot of good quality content out of Activision for the next couple of years, other than just stuff in Warzone. I don't think we're going to see much going there, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. And actually, I had read, or no, I had seen it on, I think, YouTube. I don't remember who had posted it, about the potential of Call of Duty 2021 getting canceled. So
Really?
yeah, and actually, I did
Interesting.
find a article on PlayStationLifestyle.net. So I don't know. I feel like they're really leaning into this Warzone simply because of the battle pass and the fact that they can make money off of cosmetics. Um, they're feeding into it a little bit right now.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they
Yeah.
don't do a Call of Duty this year, I mean, we can expect something strong and probably something with a new Warzone in the coming year.
Maybe. I
But
think you're
that being
right.
said, I just, if there's rumors about, Call of Duty's getting canceled and, we have all these development studios working on Call of
Mm-hmm.
Duty, what the hell is going on?
No kidding.
I mean,
Like,
are they only working on Diablo 2, Overwatch 2, and Call of Duty over there? I
oh
mean,
my god.
seriously, guys.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's going to become such a mess right now. Like it's already feeling like it's going to be even more muddied up than it really should be, and we're just going to not get much quality content out of Activision anymore, or at least for the
Right.
next couple of years, unless something completely changes. Um, Man, just the number of studios that you've got working on one game like that to support one game, that's
I feel like
unheard of.
that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
It really is. And
it
I
is.
mean, if it isn't already evident with all the problems that Warzone, like I said, it has off and on. You'll one season you'll have people that can run around in the gas or turn invisible for God's sakes or throw grenades infinitely. Uh, Different seasons we've had issues in multiple seasons with our guns that they just turn into fractal bits on the screen that
Yeah.
you don't even know what you're aiming at.
Yeah, and I've seen some map glitches map glitches at least lately, with people on Rebirth Island, for example, where one of them is you actually pull a vehicle up to a specific house that has a um, like shipping crate or something attached to the side of it. You get the vehicle up there, and then when you exit the vehicle, you have to like put it right up against the wall of the house and back up against the box. Once you get out of the vehicle, you glitch through the wall of the house and you go underneath the map. And you can just sit there and take people out. Yeah. So it's awful. It's definitely and maybe that's why they're in there, is to provide that additional support. Maybe they have a skill set that can help with a lot of that, or maybe they're just another level of debuggers who are going to be looking for these problems as things go. With Raven at the very top making it, and then everyone else subsequently supporting by looking for the bugs and problems. I don't know.
I feel like they need to rethink, having Toys for Bob. They really should be looking at more Crash and Spyro games. They're successful. People want them. So why not give people what they want, especially in a time like right now?
Yeah, and it makes me wonder what Activision's presentation is going to be like during E3. Is it just going to be an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, just Warzone stuff?
Yeah, what are we going to see? Warzone skins for 20 minutes and then
it's going to be
driven around the map?
It's going to be Tim the Tatman.
A new map, maybe?
It's going to be Tim the Tatman and Nick Merckx sitting on stage, reading patch notes, and then, yes, exactly, driving around the map slowly, like actually stopping where stop signs are and where stoplights are, looking both ways across the street, and then driving around for 45 minutes. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, let's wrap up with something that's a little funnier, at least on the line here. And Kyle, you're gonna close us out again here this week, dude. From GameSpot, and this is a really interesting one. I'm surprised something like this exists. I'm glad you found this. Resident Evil Village looks less terrifying as a puppet show. What?
Resident Evil Village kicks off a new month of gaming in May, bringing its trademark survival horror atmosphere to a new and old platforms. While the game likely won't include any options for it to be less spooky, you can ease yourself into the upcoming terror with a slightly less traumatizing puppet show. As seen on the Japanese Resident Evil YouTube channel, where the franchise is known as Biohazard, the location of the game suddenly looks a whole lot less chilling, with characters such as Lady Demiscure, or I forgot how to
I still can never pronounce her name.
Yeah. And Carl Heisenberg, Salvatore Moreau, and the animatronic Angie are transformed into hand puppets. And yes, Lady Demiscue is the tallest out of all of them. They're cute and clumsy and fall into Carl's chainsaw. Looks like it really hurts, judging by all the puppet blood that is spilled.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
The Resident Evil antagonists even have time to team up for an adorable musical number before the entire presentation ends with a brief financial slideshow. Resident Evil Village launches on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and X, X and S. Wow. And Stadia. Woo, on May 7th.
Everything.
And if you're curious about the wanting to try the game's final demo from an hour from May 1st to May 9th, according to the one demo that's supposed to be a day, they actually extended it to be like a week now.
Okay,
so
cool.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, super funny. Check it out.
I'm putting it up now.
Just ridiculous.
Okay, let's see this.
Gotta love Resident Evil and puppets. Yeah, definitely a lot less terrifying. Gotta love the whole friendship dynamic with everything.
What the absolute hell? How long is this? Okay, it's only 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched to about right here, actually. Right when they showed up.
Okay, I got the whole thing going now. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what they're saying, but...
Well, I'm on what I think is the closest to what's happening real-time stream. So, yeah, I'm a little behind what we're actually, what you're watching.
It's like he's painting or something here, and then chainsaw. Oh my god. Okay. I gotta pause that. That's okay. It's that was something. That's
it's a little
something
graphic, even for puppets, but
yeah.
it's funny, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Check out the full video.
And I'll say it right here too. Like Alex here said on Facebook, at least they're not doing a Lego Resident Evil game. And you know what? I would take a Lego Resident Evil game.
I would totally do that.
I would take that. I could imagine a Lego Resident, like who's the company that makes the Lego games? What's the name of the company that makes that? But I can imagine it, just a Lego game, since they do them all anyway. I could imagine one of them doing it. If they make a Lego Resident Evil game, I could actually see that, especially where I already see it in a scene there, if it's the original Resident Evil game and you're going to fight the giant snake, and just Wesker happens to appear there for some weird reason. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Like Traveler's Tales games or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But no, I imagine that it's like you're going to go fight the snake, and for some reason he's got Wesker's hair and sunglasses on for whatever reason, and Wesker has to come in bald in that to go grab the stuff, and you're going to go fight Tyrant or whatever, and Tyrant, instead of the massive zombie arm thing going on, and that, it's like for some reason the zombie arm falls off, so he grabs the shark from the tank and slaps the shark on as his arm or something like that. It's the Lego shark too. See, I would play that. That's fine. Yeah, let's do it.
I would love that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Lego, take these ideas.
Lego, come on. You want to do this? Give us a call. We'll help design the game itself. We've got some ideas going. But okay, puppets, whatever. It's fine.
I've got it pre-ordered. I'm excited. I'll be playing it on release, hopefully, time permitting.
Time permitting, of course. Yeah, especially with all the new responsibilities too.
Yeah.
Man. But with that's actually it in the world of video game news there. The only interesting thing I can say is if you haven't had a chance to go take a look at it yet, go over to Kotaku. They've got an article up now talking about the new Gundam that's been built, the new life-size Gundam, or somewhat life-size Gundam that's been built in China, in Shanghai. It is the Strike Force Gundam from Gundam Seed, and I'm at the point now that I think we need to have Gundams put up in every major city in the world. Like, I think for America especially, I think it does scream kind of like America, more on the color scheme than anything, is Wing Gundam.
You have just hit on the plot to G Gundam.
There you go. See? I think there needs to be a Gundam here.
We're pretty soon we'll just have competitive Gundam matches in every city or whatever.
I just want a Gundam statue here in the States, okay? And I think because of the color scheme, it needs to be Wing Gundam 0. Red, white, and blue, and a little bit of gold. I think it needs to be that. Okay,
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Give me that, okay? Because imagine, you could do a whole thing with F-22s and F-35s flying by, and here comes Wing Gundam flying next to him as well too, and then you got it was something I talked about with my kid this morning when I saw the article. It's like, we need that here, and then he went and looked at me. He's like, Dad, you're an idiot. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, it's
talking
cool.
About. Get back to your schoolwork. What are you doing? But with that, of course, everybody, that's it in the news, though. Of course, like we mentioned at the beginning, we're now doing a weekly news podcast with opencritic.com. So please make sure to go to their website, again, opencritic.com. Subscribe to that podcast so that way you get to listen to that. It's in a more scripted format for doing that as well, though, too. I think this first episode we did is just over 12 minutes long. Go give that a listen. Let us know what you think of that. And of course, we're going to be doing that every week here, at least for the foreseeable future. Of course, if you're watching us here on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. If you're listening to us over on Facebook as well, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button on our page so that you at least know when we do go live. You'll get notifications on both sides of the environment. Of course, we got our podcast that we release every Tuesday as well, where Kyle and I are just basically shooting the shit, talking about what's going on with us playing video games and just general things that are happening with us in life as well, too. All the nice, fun, happy things that you guys have come to love about us over the last 2 years. With all that said, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this week. We will catch you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.